Hi, I'm Mark Jenkins, author of Analog Synthesizers, which you can get at Amazon anywhere in the world. And today we're looking at one of the latest iPad apps for analog synthesizer sound. It's by the same people who made iSequence. Now, iSequence is my main sequencer for concerts at the moment. Has a lot of good built-in synthesizer and percussion sounds like this. So as you can hear, that's quite a powerful analog sound, and now from the same developers, Horizon, which you may think looks a bit familiar, a bit like a Roland Jupiter 8000, and it is in fact based a lot on the JP8000 design. This beta test version just has a few patches in it, so let's have a look at a couple of those. A nice smooth sweeping analog sound there, and if we open that up and give it a little more peak, beautiful, nice smooth analog style sound. The JP8000 of course had an Arpeggiator in it as well, so let's have a look at a couple of the Arpeggiator sounds. Notice I'm pulling the keyboard about as I play. At the moment that has a 1.5 octave span. That may change before the final version appears. And the arpeggiator itself is highly programmable. Put in as many steps as you want there, and each step can be offset in terms of key, a couple of notes or a whole octave. So quite a powerful programmable arpeggiator there. Let's have a look at another smooth pad type sound, which is something typical you want off analog synthesizer. What you might want to do with that is to make it a little more percussive and shorter. As you get down into the bass end of that, that starts to sound powerful. So I think there you are starting to get into Prophet 5 territory. This sound plays well in the solo monophonic mode. And as you hear, it has some glide on it, but in the arpeggiator mode it does this, which I think is what it was designed for. Maybe some of you know the tune. Again, the programmable arpeggiator coming into use there, and as you can hear, there's excellent built-in delay effects as well. Little bit in the way of just sound effects patches. This is a wind sound. Just give that a little bit more decay time. As well as the white noise sound source, the Horizon has a ring modulator built into it, so you can come up with some quite highly modulated sounds, which you'll hear in a minute. Here's another lead sound. And as you can see, you have pitch bend and modulation wheels on the left as usual. Here's another demo of the Arpeggiator with a patch Lucio. Here's one of these much more complex abstract sounds that I mentioned using the ring modulator setting here. So while the architecture of the synth seems quite conventional, with two oscillators here, two envelopes, two filters, and the programmable effects here, in fact it can do some quite complex abstract sounds as well. Just looking at these filters in more detail, you have two of them which can work in series or parallel. The first one can be bypass or set to low pass, high pass, band pass, notch, comb, formant. The second one exactly the same. So the combined effect of those two filters and the fact they each have frequency and resonance and can track the keyboard gives you a fantastically wide scope of sounds you can come up with. This is the Formant filter, which typically sounds voice-like. That kind of sound was typical of the EMU Morpheus modules, so you might like to get that kind of effect. On the subject of effects, just looking at what's available here, chorus, equalizer and distortion, as well as stereo delay. So beautiful long delays there with no hint of any distortion in the sound. And on the oscillators themselves you have the super saw waveform, which is typical of the JP8000 for giving you very thick sounds, together with a variable square to pulse wave, and a lot of options in the way that you mix those together. So combined with the filters, a wide scope of sound textures you can choose. Let's just look at a final sound which uses these powerful oscillator and filter textures together. A couple of patchable parameters in terms of what happens when you play Horizon off a MIDI keyboard. this can be sent to volume, filter 1 or 2 cutoff. That's going to be developed a little bit further before the final version comes out. And finally, there's a little sequence recorder. And you're able to list all the recordings that you've made and save them. So that was Horizon, the new powerful analog style synthesizer by Beep Street, the creators of iSequence on the iPad. That'll appear on the App Store soon. My name's Mark Jenkins, hope you enjoyed watching.